I 100% agree with you, and I don't have the statistics, but I've seen enough kids go through high school and college and into pros to kind of see that same trend. And a lot of it's just self-preservation on behalf of the strength coach, right? Like understanding the bureaucracy behind collegiate level strength coaching is a lot of times they have a tie to the performer or to the head coach, right? So the player coach moves, all of a sudden they're going to bring in a new training staff. But also like the role of the strength coach in the culture of the team at the college level is very different, right? Culture is really built in the weight room for college sports, which is super interesting because that's not at all what happens at the pro level, or even to a certain degree the high school level. There's just such a difference between someone who's in the 9th grade and someone in the 12th grade. Much closer are the experience of someone who's like a sophomore versus someone who's a senior or something like that, or a junior versus senior. So I think there's, from a strength coach perspective in college, yeah, I think the volume is way too high. I think the amount of time they spend in is way too high. I think at large, the emphasis that is going to make them good at their sport depreciates, I think, year over year, right? Especially as you get guys, I mean, especially with COVID, man, I'm seeing red-shirted sophomores at 22 years old, right? So I got a guy with 4 years of eligibility who's 22 years old. He's 4 years of NCAA. So it's like, this guy's going to be, it could be, I mean, he'll go probably next year, but technically speaking, he could be eligible for the draft coming out of college at 26 years old, right? So it's like, when we start to look at training adaptations and where we see our highest yield weighted variables and actually on the field of play, whether that's agility, whether that's endurance, whether that's power, whether that's speed, it's likely going to be strength, right? Top end strength is going to be, if I have a kid in high school, it's like, yeah, if I can get him to squat 400 pounds, like he's probably going to be doing pretty good on all aspects of all like meaningful training adaptations. He's going to be doing well. There's a certain point where strength becomes a depreciating return, and there's a certain point where the means by which you need to get stronger in itself are depreciating just for how much time they take. Like it's not as hard to get a 16-year-old kid stronger relative to his baseline strength than it is to get a 22-year-old stronger relative to his baseline strength. So it's doubly inefficient, where it's like, okay, now as they get older into their college